Greetings, Keishlings. Keishan Prime here with another My Hero Academia power-up video. This time we're tackling Koji Koda, aka the Petting Hero Anima. And I know why he's called the Petting Hero, you know, for like petting zoos and I pet animals and stuff because he talks to them. But come on, man. You gotta get a better name than that. I would have said like the animal hero, but maybe that one's so vague it's actually already been used. But whatever. This for Koda's power-ups, they're going to be a bit more non-conventional from the other videos because I thought more along the lines of occupations that get the most out of his quirk. But like all the others, they follow pretty much the same scheme as like I'll do equipment, then like the professions, which would be like his super moves essentially, and then a quirk evolution segment, which is new, so sorry if you hadn't seen any of those. Yeah, the first on the equipment is the multi-purpose mask, which is essentially a waterproof mask with a built-in like megaphone and rebreather function. Because my reasonings was simple, as because of his shyness, you know, he'll whisper a lot, so then his commands aren't really heard. But then also, his quirk only works if the animals can hear him to, you know, and understand his commands. So this will boost his voice along with allowing him to talk to underwater creatures. I almost said underground. Underwater creatures more effectively, because like if he has to be underwater for a prolonged time, the rebreather allows him to command fish for more than just say a minute at a time, because he wouldn't be able to talk and, you know, give commands. He'd run out of breath really quick. The second piece of equipment is a transponder device. It's essentially just a tracking device mixed with a two-way receiver, or transceiver, sorry, so that he can like place it on an animal, which I'll get into this particular thing's functionality later. But like he places it on an animal, and like so he can track their location, but also so he can remotely give them commands from a further distance than his voice would allow. And that's even with the multi-purpose mask. So next we're getting into other professions he could pursue than being a superhero. First is a logical one, the veterinarian path. Because his ability allows him to converse with animals of all sorts, this would make treating them like a medical dream. I mean, how many vets have probably been like, okay, puppers, it's like, what's wrong with you? And then they just whine, or, you know, or just bark. And it's like, yeah, that don't tell me what I need to know. And it's like certain tests, just like when you talk to your doctor, like you're able to tell them what you want, and tests can, you know, further that knowledge, but their vets are in the dark for a lot of that. So it's a lot of trial and error sometimes, and I would think he would be the best vet in the world. He could be like a traveling vet, really, like dealing with medical emergencies worldwide that like maybe couldn't be solved other than by him. Next is a zoologist. With his Anna voice, he would he could like analyze and discover mysteries of the animal kingdom by simply just asking, like, okay cat, tell me, why are you doing this? And then the cat could either like show him or something, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm putting that in my notes, you know. There you go, simple as that. And it's like, because he's able to kind of command them, they might not be as aggressive to him, so then he could like go into like a den of lions and like observe them in the wild more, you know, without fear, something like that. Next is the police officer route. Law enforcement is a thing that we see a lot with quirk users, but their quirks may not have been very beneficial to be a superhero, so then they're like, I want to serve the community. So they became a cop. And with his caring nature, I could see Koda, fitting in pretty well as a cop. He very well might become a great cop once he has literally bugged the whole city or area that he's working in. Because, like, he could have essentially animal and bug informants everywhere. Like he sends, like, a dog into, like, the bad part of town or something, and, like, the dog, it's like, it's been given commands to, like, if you see anything suspicious, come back. There you go. And when it does, it's like, oh, well, maybe that wouldn't be the best situation, but it gives an idea of what he could do. And then literal bugging, like bugs are like, if there's enough bugs in a room, they could spell out messages. Maybe it's like, oh, there's a drug deal going down in this abandoned building on 37th Street or something, So yeah, like he would have spies going in like along the coastline, on land and in the air. Birds fly about, they see things all the time. God knows what birds see on a daily basis. And he would have that intel. Next is kind of a combination profession of Coast Guard meets like natural disaster search and rescue, because like the Coast Guard already does like sea rescues, but search and rescue does things on land as well. So, and this is where the track spawner device comes into play. Like, say, okay, he's in an urban environment, an earthquake has just hit. We find out that there's a building that's partially collapsed. We know not all the occupants got out safely. How do we find them? Well, using rats to crawl in through the earthquake debris of the building, he could find the survivors by putting the tracking device on them so that you know where they are, and then through like the transceiver, he could keep giving them commands remotely, and then maybe he could like work out some kind of simple communication, like 1 squeak, we found them. 2 squeaks, they've perished. 3 squeaks, I cannot go any further. Something like that. And then, they now know where to go and they can start excavating the area where the survivor or, sadly, the casualty might be found. And also this works on sea as well. Like, you could summon up, like, a swarm of fish to, like, there was this ability, I think it was called March of Fishes, that Gomamon in Digimon, the first season, did, where he would just summon up all these fish and they could act as like a raft. I could see that being used, something like that, or like a whale kind of comes out of the water from a shipwreck or near a shipwreck offshore, and the whale would act as like a giant flotation device that people could hold on to until rescue crews arrive. And then another thing is, like, during that kind of a situation, if there's sharks in the area, with that mask I mentioned before, he could stick his hand underwater and just tell the sharks to fuck off. It's like, this is my territory now. You do not get to have them. We are saving their lives today. That kind of a thing. That would make him a Billy Badass. And then the final profession is a animal sanctuary ranger, because it would give him the biggest advantage his quirk allows by having a large range of animals to command that, like, say, an urban environment wouldn't really allow him or provide for him. Because, like, okay, he's in Africa, let's say, and he's got, like, lions, elephants, rhinos, hippos, crocodiles, and an assortment of birds and other land-dwelling animals that he could like either ride on, use as a form of combat, or warding away like poachers or just other forms of, evil that may occur in like the savannah or whatever. And he just would have an easy enough time. He could even be a safari ranger, I guess, on that regard as well, but not so much. But yeah, something like that. And now the final segment, quirk evolution. I came up with 3 ideas. Essentially, the first one is voice boost, which is like his quirk allows him to talk louder than he has naturally before, and it would give him a longer range of effect to reach more animals in his vicinity, to give them commands, as we've already discussed how his quirk functions. Next would be animal linguist, which is he doesn't seem to be able to fully converse with animals, even though I've already said it, but it's, when you talk, it's just another word for talking. But like, what if he could understand their form of speech? And then, like, that whole thing about being a zoologist really comes into, play there. And, like, with the other ones, like the police informants, they can tell him what's going on. Things of that nature. Then, finally, microspeak. Basically, it allows him to command microscopic organisms. Maybe to provide, like, to prevent disease. Like, if there's bacteria kind of setting in to a wound, he can tell them to, like, stay away before it becomes an issue. Or go as far as maybe lessening or even curing a disease by commanding the viruses that are already in the human body to leave the infected. And because viruses are organisms just on such a microscopic scale, but they're very malicious, and if he can get those to leave, it's like he could cure the plague or a plague of sorts, and it's like he would be a hero to the medical community and the world as a whole. It's like, could there be any hero above him at that regard? Because you hear about like all these outbreaks of illnesses and stuff that come about, and it's like he could cure that potentially. So that would be cool if he could talk to microscopic organisms, but that's just a far-fetched idea. But yeah, that's about all I have. Let me know your thoughts about my ideas. Any ideas that you've had about him is all, because really he has not had much development in the series. Also, him and the next guy, Sado, yeah, I was surprised how many ideas I could come up with for this dude. I mean, with the amount of screen time he's had, he's not been that developed, as I said, so yeah, he needs a little love. And if he did these, I think it'd be fun. But yeah, let me know what you thought, as I said. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, links down below. And until next time, Keishlings, roll out.